So I believed before, and I still do, and I stand by this, that spirituality trumps race, it trumps gender. As far as how I would identify myself, I would say I'm a spiritual being before anything, before I'm a woman, before I'm black, before I am, from Connecticut, before anything. Before, where my parents are from, my lineage, I would say that I identify myself as a spiritual person, as a child of the Almighty, above everything and all things. But what I will say is that there are differences. And a lot of times what we find ourselves arguing about is the superlatives of those differences. So this is different from that. Does that mean that it's better than this? These are things that are debatable. But I will also say, and I said this a couple weeks ago, that one of my goals is to begin to become more attached to research, because it's easy to talk opinions and it's fine. Everybody has one. I'm an advocate of being able to express yourself. That's how we learn from each other. There's nothing wrong with stating your opinion. But there are things that are substantiated. There are things that are factual. There are things that are researchable. And there are things that are not debatable. And so before you get angry about something, ask yourself, well, have I done the proper and adequate research to even develop a thought about it? Before I truly can get upset or formulate my opinion, have I done the proper research? Have I studied this? Am I informed enough about this? Do I know enough about this? Because a lot of times we can get very emotional, but we're not basing things off of facts, off of truth. And so when it comes to things like gender, and it comes to things like race, I think it is important, like before you jump to any emotional, response about what melanin means, have you done, scientific research? Have you done, your own research about what it means and what genetics are and what makes up our DNA? Or are you just, so appalled by the idea of, some genes being recessive and others not, that you won't even sit down and actually do, the research? And I don't tell people what to think, how to think, or anything of that nature. I think that we can operate however we want. But I would say that going to science is probably always the best answer before anything. Do your proper research. When it comes to racism, I was having a discussion earlier, and she's a woman that I admire and respect to a great degree, and she happens to be a melanated woman, and she says, I don't mess with race. She's like, I'm a spiritual being. I think that the conversation of race is trivial, and I've met a lot of intellectuals, people that I really respect their minds, who have the same stance. They don't even focus on race. They don't even talk about race because they think it's so trivial. They think it's something that we should have long gotten past. And their understanding of race is that it literally is just the pigmentation of your skin, your DNA. And the soul is really how we're interacting, and really someone's value is based off of what they bring to the world, what they contribute to the world, how much of an asset they are to the world, regardless of their gender, regardless of their race. And so, people that I know that are the most intellectuals really do feel that way. They feel like the race conversation is primitive. They think that racists are stupid. Most of the people that I know that are really intelligent think that racists are stupid, because it is intellectually lazy to just base someone's entire character off of the way that they look. But I will say that we have to be balanced when we talk about things like this, because there has to be a reason why one group of people continuously terrorize another group of people. There has to be a reason why it has been consistently one group of people globally, that have been responsible for genocide, responsible for a lot of things. But somebody may say, hey, Kinza, you're being intellectually lazy, because there were times where melanated people were in rulership. Have you done the study and research about what happened then? Have you done any extensive research about ancient Kemet, and when melanated people were in rulership, did we operate in a kind manner, or were we just as savage? So I speak to only my level of understanding. People may think I am cocky, but I've said repeatedly, I don't want to be the same person in a year, not even in a week that I am today. I want to learn, I want to grow. I'm work in progress, and there's a lot that I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know. But I will say, the thoughts that I have, the ideas that I have, are really only predicated upon the information that I've accrued so far. And there's a lot to learn, So, just kind of like a reminder to everybody that we don't have this whole thing figured out. And there are questions to ask. And if you seek the truth, if you seek information, you can find it, no question. But you just have to be constantly seeking with the understanding, right? This kind of constant balance between our ego, or our sense of self, and humility. Understanding, yes, we know some things, but there's a whole lot that we have to learn. Until next time, peace.